What's up, guys? Your boy, TrenchK13. I'm here to give you guys your wrestling news wrap up for May 12, 2015. WWE 2K16 rumors. WWE 2K16 PS4 Xbox One PC release date. New feature reveal. Roster and gameplay detail tip. Rumors. WWE 2K16 continues to pipe the interest of gamers as new features are now being rumored to be included in the upcoming game release. Segment Next says the game is speculated to feature a new body system where players can target specific parts of the opponent's body using their weapons. When struck, the opponent will react likewise by holding on their head or limping away on their feet. Each part will have its own coupling animation. SegmentNet explained. A similar GameWreck article noted that this new feature will also allow players to simulate ring psychology to some extent with the weapons having their special target. The wrestler who gets stuck will react with appropriate animation, hold on to their leg or their head. This made kendo stick, TLC, baseball bat, etc. strategic choices and not just something to play with, the same report added. Meanwhile, the missing customization option from WWE 2K15 will be presented in the upcoming installment, and players will also be able to create their own diva for the game. Segment Next noted. Aside from these, a new stamina system and animation for victory are also expected to come with the game, expected to be released in October this year on the PS4 and Xbox One. 2K Sports also went the extra mile as per GamerRant after it installed sensors on the belt of the wrestler to make them more realistic for the player. With the introduction of WWE2K15 to the PC, GamerRant said there is a big possibility that the upcoming release will also be available in other platforms. You can see in the minimum PC spec that 2K game build of WWE2K15 is scalable, so much so that it could be ported to 6th gen console. It may not matter for sale, but for the sake of not leaving fans out, 2K games may choose to bring WWE2K15 to PC, PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U, and maybe even tablet, explained GamerRect. According to CrossMap, this year's installment of the game may have a bigger roster than the previous release, noting that fans are already clamoring for more wrestlers, especially with the decrease of the number of players for the past year. WWE2K15 has only 83 playable characters. Some of the fighters confirmed to be part of the game are WWE Diva Rosa Mendez and NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks. Goldberg and WWE 2K16. Former WWE and WCW champion Bill Goldberg appeared on ESPN Sports Nation. And below is a recap. And I quote, Goldberg was asked how he got into fighting, and he said he was prepping to wrestle in Japan, and since the Japanese style is much different, he needed to adjust. He then started training for fighting in MMA and really began to enjoy it. Goldberg agreed that the Mayweather vs. Pacquiao fight was a bit of a letdown and did not meet expectations, but he said injury or not, Pacquiao just couldn't seem to land much. Goldberg talked about his transition from football to wrestling, and he said back in his football days he couldn't afford to buy so much as a sandwich, so he entered the world of pro wrestling because the money was there. On a possible return to WWE, Goldberg had the following to say, and I quote, Kids would ask me, when are you going to WWE? I did it for them. It was probably the most tumultuous year of my entire life. I've done a lot of things, but that wasn't something that was a lot of fun for me. Goldberg then said he was waiting on a WWE video game right now, which is why he is being so politically correct, so it looks as if the Goldberg character might be in talk to appear in WWE 2K16 or a future WWE game. Daniel Bryan addressed his future on Raw. Song for WWE Payback, Finn Balor shows off new paint. On WWE Raw, Daniel Bryan talked about what has happened to him in the past. He talked about having an MRI last week and the doctor are not sure how long he will be out. He said it could be weeks, months, or he could never be able to wrestle again. He said despite the uncertainty in his career, he said the fans deserve wrestler fighting for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Daniel Bryan officially relinquishes the WWE Intercontinental Championship. The theme song for WWE Payback is Friction by Imagine Dragon. NXT superstar Finn Balor tweeted the following, teasing his body paint for this week's event in Philadelphia. And I quote, "Everyone has a darker side. 215.5-15-15. New matches and stipulations added to WWE Payback updated pay-per-view card. Sheamus vs. Dolph Ziggler was announced on WWE Raw for WWE Payback in Baltimore this coming Sunday. Below is the updated card. WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, Seth Rollins vs. Roman Reigns vs. Randy Orton vs. Dean Ambrose. If Seth Rollins loses, Kane will lose his job as Director of Operations. I Quit match for the WWE United States Championship, John Cena vs. Rusev. Sheamus vs. Dolph Ziggler. Neville vs. King Barrett. More news on WWE Payback Kickoff Show, GFW to crown 4 champions, WWE Superstar commentary change. This week's edition of WWE Superstar will feature Brian Saxton and Kyle Edwards on commentary. As noted, Macho Man and Astro-Mania vs. The Ascension have been announced for the WWE Payback Kickoff Show. The show will feature Renee Young, Corey Gray, Brian Saxton, and Booker T on the panel, and will begin at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the WWE Network. As of now, there is no pay-per-view post-show schedule. Global Force Wrestling has released the following video announcing it will crown 4 champions at the debut set of TV taping in Las Vegas on July 24th. Tonight's SmackDown and main event taping, Foley get hashtag trending, Barry called Bryan pathetic. Tonight, WWE will tape this week's edition of Main Event and SmackDown from the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. Announced for SmackDown this week is Roman Reigns vs. Kane. And there must be a winner via pinfall or submission. Talent advertised for tonight's taping includes Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, King Barrett, and Sheamus. During Raw last night, Mick Foley got the hashtag Women's Wrestling trending worldwide. And I quote, WWE NXT fans know that with Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Bayley, the future of women's wrestling is strong. King Barrett posted the following on Twitter, reacting to last night's Daniel Bryan announcement. And I quote, "What a load of horse crap from Daniel Bryan tonight. I think we all know I deserve my IC title back. Pathetic scheme. Y'all gone." Jimmy Wayne Yang backstage at Raw. Brie Bella reacts to Daniel Bryan announcement. New Unfiltered tonight. Tonight, new episode of Unfiltered. New episode of Unfiltered and on the WWE Network and hosted by Renee Young with featured special guest Wiz Khalifa. Former WWE star Jimmy Wayne Yang, who teased his WWE return on Raw last night, was in face backstage for the show, although he did not return. Yang lived in the area and brought a group of VIP contest winners to Raw, where they went backstage to meet WWE superstars. Yang tweeted the following, and I quote, "Return to Raw, didn't have a match, but maybe NXT time." More backstage news on Daniel Bryan's status. Update on TNA Destination X air date. WWE returning to Cincy. According to PWInsider.com, TNA sources are noting the Destination X Impact Wrestling special will not be aired on May 22nd, but instead will be aired sometime in June. The Destination America lineup is listed May 22nd as a 3-hour pay-per-view broadcast, but it appears it will not be Destination X themed. As noted, the decision to have Daniel Bryan relinquish the WWE Intercontinental title was made on May 8th, as MRI test results prevented Bryan from being cleared to return to the ring. According to PWInsider.com, Bryan is not scheduled to be at the WWE SmackDown taping tomorrow night. But as of now, he is still listed for this Sunday night Payback pay-per-view. Bryan is also being advertised for next week's WWE taping in Virginia, and it remains to be seen whether or not WWE will pull Bryan from any further TV taping. WWE will return to Cincinnati, Ohio on October 13th for a SmackDown taping. An internet pre-sale for tickets to the event has begun, and you can use the password WWE Simply. News on which matches will take place inside the chamber at Elimination Chamber. WWE.com has posted the following regarding the May 31st return of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and I quote, "The anticipated must-see WWE Elimination Chamber event will emanate from Corpus Christi, Texas, where the WWE Tag Team Championship and the newly vacant Intercontinental Championship will be defended inside the infamous structure." Backstage news on WWE bringing back the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Will the event feature a limited time roster? As seen tonight on Raw, WWE announced the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view will return to WWE Network on May 31st live from Corpus Christi, Texas. According to PWInsider.com, the decision to bring the pay-per-view back was made within the past few days, and many times were surprised to hear of the decision at Raw tonight. One of the main reasons why WWE scrapped Elimination Chamber at the annual February pay-per-view is due to the inability of many arenas to house the chamber structure. Renovations that have been made to many older arenas made it impossible for the arena to handle the chamber. So WWE decided to replace the event with Fastlane. The American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, however, is said not to be one of the arenas that have renovations done, so it will allow setup of the chamber. In related news, it will be interesting to see which talents are announced for the Elimination Chamber, as WWE is also running a live event in Greenville, South Carolina on the same night, and John Cena, Rusev, and King Barrett are all advertised. New Age Outlaw versus Primetime Player in the work. It looks like WWE may be starting a feud between the Primetime Player and New Age Outlaw. After a promo from Titus O'Neil and Darren Young mocking the former champion, Billy Gunn tweeted out the following after Raw, and I quote, "Okay, the Primetime Player stuff was funny till tonight. You have made fun of the wrong team now. Road Dogg, get your get out." New matches and stipulations added to WWE Payback. Updated pay-per-view card with 6 matches. Below is the updated card for the WWE Payback, which take place this Sunday from the Royal Farm Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose. If Seth Rollins loses, Kane will lose his job as Director of Operations. I Quit match for the WWE United States Champion, John Cena versus Rusev. 2 out of 3 fall for the WWE Tag Team Champion, The New Day versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler. Neville versus King Barrett. WrestleMania and Macho Man versus The Ascension will take place on the pre-show. Backstage news on Daniel Bryan vacating the IC title. Bella reacts to Bryan injury, rumor tag team match for WWE Payback. PWInsider.com is reporting that the decision for Daniel Bryan to vacate the WWE Intercontinental title was made on May 8th after Bryan and WWE officials received MRI results on his shoulder. WWE has been holding out hope that Daniel Bryan will be back in action by later this month, but that was ruled out when they got the MRI result. Nikki and Brie commented on their Twitter account about Bryan's announcement, and I quote, So grateful for Daniel Bryan. He taught me that I can overcome anything. All I have to do is believe in myself. Rumor coming out of WWE Raw on Monday night, there has not been a Divas match announced for Payback, but it's very possible that Naomi and Tamina versus the Bella Twins could take place. It is also a possibility that Naomi and Nikki could fight for the WWE Divas Champion. The Big Show return date revealed. Dave Meltzer mentioned on the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer that WWE is planning on bringing the Big Show back to TV next week after TV taping. There was no mention on who Big Show would be feuding with next. Big Show was last seen in a match against Roman Reigns at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view last month. WWE teasing 4 matches for the Elimination Chamber event on the WWE Network. WWE.com is advertising 4 title matches inside the Elimination Chamber structure at the themed pay-per-view event. WWE note that there will be a chamber match for the vacant Intercontinental title as well as the multi-team chamber match for the tag team titles. WWE mentioned that the WWE Worldwide title and the US title will be defended at the event. WWE.com is teasing an opponent for John Cena at the event by telling their fans to stay tuned for the latest news on US Champion John Cena opponent at the event. News on why WWE is holding the Elimination Chamber event at the American Bank Center. For those who are wondering why WWE is holding the Elimination Chamber event, For those who are wondering why WWE is holding the Elimination Chamber event at the American Bank Center in Corpus Christi, Texas, it's because it's one of the few arenas that have not been renovated and could actually fit the chamber inside the arena. WWE is expected to be adding matches to the event shortly. The event will air exclusively on the WWE Network and is the 6th of 13 WWE pay-per-view in 2015. When did WWE make the decision to bring back the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event? Dave Meltzer mentioned on the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio that WWE made the decision to bring back the Elimination Chamber event just last week. It was reported that WWE Talent was surprised when Michael Cole announced the news on last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. The WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event takes place on Sunday, May 31st from Corpus Christi, Texas at the American Bank Center. The event will air exclusively on the WWE Network and is the 6th of 13 WWE pay-per-view in 2015. The reason why WWE is bringing back the Elimination Chamber event, Dave Meltzer mentioned on the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer Radio that the reason WWE is bringing back the Elimination Chamber event is because they want people who sign up for the free month of May to either be charged or renew their WWE subscription to the network for the month of June. Also, to increase the subscription number to the WWE network. WWE feels that they can continue to increase numbers by giving the network away for free on a monthly basis. The WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event takes place on Sunday, May 31st from Corpus Christi, Texas at the American Bank Center. The event will air exclusively on the WWE Network and is the 6th of 13 WWE pay-per-view in 2015. Daniel Bryan rumored to appear at next week's WTV taping. As noted, Daniel Bryan revealed on last night's episode of WWE Raw that he didn't have an update on his neck. He had an MRI, but the doctor was uncertain about his future. He could be out weeks, months, and maybe he would not be able to wrestle again. He relinquished the Intercontinental title and left. Bryan is rumored to appear at next week's WTV taping to set up an angle to crown the next Intercontinental Champion. He is also rumored to appear at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Update on Big Show WTV status, backstage news on Tough Enough at the audition, CM Punk land DC Comic Goods. According to F4WOnline.com, Big Show, who has not been seen on WTV since he lost a last man standing match to Roman Reigns, is expected back on TV in a couple weeks. PW Insider is reporting WWE Tough Enough casting director have been picking talent from some of the submission videos and contacting them to conduct Skype interviews. The interviews are being done to determine whether or not the talent will advance in the process. CM Punk had tweeted the following, and I quote, "I got a story in the latest Strange Sports story from DC Comics coming out on Wednesday, the 13th. Check it out. I'm super stoked about it." WWE NXT matches taped for this week, non-spoiler. Next Jerry Springer episode. WWE star babyface turn. Goldust update. The following matches have been taped for tomorrow's edition of WWE NXT, which is a go-home show for the TakeOver Unstoppable special. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn face off. Bayley vs. Jessie McKay. Baron Corbin vs. Solomon Crowe. Sasha Banks vs. Casey Cassidy. Alexa Bliss vs. Carmella. Tyler Breeze and Adam Rose vs. Finn Balor and Hideo Itami. The second episode of WWE Too Hot for TV with Jerry Springer, and this week is titled Best of the Bizarre. Goldust will be having his shoulder surgery today. According to F4WOnline.com, the backstage feeling in WWE is that Bray Wyatt still has his supporters and will eventually turn babyface, but now is not the right time. Update on the roster status for Elimination Chamber. Even though the WWE had a house show in Greenville, South Carolina, the same day after Elimination Chamber, Elimination Chamber, WWE Network Special in Corpus Christi, Texas on Sunday, May 31st, 2015. It is very popular that the Elimination Chamber will have a full roster available, considering that the Greenville show is at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, and the Elimination Chamber is at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time and 6:30 Mountain. WWE Raw viewership info. Does Triple H and Daniel Bryan WTV return help this week's numbers? According to ShowBuzzDaily.com, last night's edition of WWE Raw featured a WTV return of Triple H and Daniel Bryan. Took an average audience of 3.69 million viewers. This number is up from last week's 3.57 million viewership average. This week, the first hour of Raw took in 3.824 million viewers. The second hour took in 3.853 million viewers. And the final hour took in 385 million viewers. And finally, Damien Sandow has a message for his critics. Update on Miz and Paige WTV return. As noted, Paige and the Miz are currently off WTV shooting the WWE studio movie Santa's Little Helper. The movie wrapped the first week of June, so the two WWE stars could be back on WTV by then. Damien Sandow has tweeted the following to those criticizing his new Macho Man persona, and I quote, "And to my critic and out of WWE, remember, I'm the guy that made being a stunt double work. Play the hand, you are there. Go forward. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace."